bit of a mess. Whose fault is it? Mine? Probably. Let me see. All right. Looks like I do have that in working properly. So here we are. I'm not sure how late I'll go tonight, but just wanted to try and clean up some of this. And if I have time, I want to try and diagnose how to improve this tripod. So don't let me forget this. All right. First, I'll just pick up some of the trash. Did a live earlier today with my wife. Her first time going live. And it was a lot of fun. But we made a bit of a mess. So I'm just trying to clean it up now. I've got some significant burn marks on my workbench because of a project I was working on in a couple of previous live videos. Made some signs and then burned them and then finished them with some shellac right here. And so I've got both the burn marks and the shellac on the workbench. So I was thinking to just sand it down. But I've also got a lot of imperfections in the workbench here, you know, some voids and stuff, you know, right in there. I've tried filling them somewhat. I don't know if you can see this or not. Tried filling them somewhat with, you know, a sawdust and glue mixture, like in here and over here. I might try that and just, you know, kind of sand this down and see if I can't fill in some of the voids with the sanding residue from that. So we'll see. But let me find the trash here and start doing some cleanup for a bit. All right. And hey, Noah, thanks for joining, dude. Just doing some cleanup work here after all of our excitement from our live video earlier today. My wife broke my push stick. So have to fix that. Put that over there for now. I know to fix it. These rulers I like to stick on my magnetic strip right over here. My X-Actor I usually have over here, I think. So got a magnetic strip right above the workbench. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. So a lot of my tools with steel in them are just right there, nice and accessible. Hey, Brad. I am located in Idaho, in the United States, in North America, and Western and Northern hemispheres of Earth, within the Milky Way galaxy. How about you? Where are you at? And too crowded? Yeah, too crowded here in Idaho? Is that the problem? Hey, Craig. Thanks for joining. Oh, you're in Billings. Okay. So that's also Mountain Time Zone, isn't it? So we are a little bit past 12:30 a.m. right now. So just trying to do some quiet work in the shop so as not to disturb my wife and daughters. So figured a little cleanup wouldn't be too loud. So not going to be vacuuming or operating any other equipment, I don't think. But that's why I thought this might be a good little project to take on at the moment. So my wife was kind enough before our live to stuff a bunch of stuff in her pockets. I'm not exactly sure why still, but then she pulled everything out during the live for comedic effect, apparently. But I guess I didn't get it. So, and try to remember where everything goes here. And shellac's pretty much gone. Used it up on various stuff. So, okay. I think we've got some timeouts coming here. So let's keep it respectful in the chat, people. Hello. Don't know how to pronounce that name. Don't know what the characters are or mean, but thanks for joining in. So we're just trying to organize a little bit. Whoa. Trying not to be loud, but oops. So, all right, and then knives go over there. Marking tools, punches. Combination square. So I'm going to adjust my combination square to make a little bit more room. Right there. Put our X-Actor there. And the mini router plan there. Marking ruler there. You know what? I think I had these. How did I have those? So chisels. I don't know why that's there. Actually, I do know why that's there. My wife put it there. And I'll put these over here so that I can put these guys here. And I don't really use this one as much, but I'm going to adjust it if I can so that that blade is not flying around everywhere. I need to use a screwdriver to adjust it. Go. That down. I got this thinking it would be really useful for a few different things that I wanted to do, and I haven't done any of them yet. So eventually this will come in handy. But I think I'm going to throw them down here for now, since try to put the stuff that I need more frequently over here. Yeah. All right. So speed square is not iron based, so it's aluminum, so it won't stick to my magnetic strip. This is a little project that I made for the Sunday school kids that we teach. They're 9 and 10 years old. And I did a video about it, but basically it's a little empty tomb that we did for an Easter lesson on Palm Sunday. I made it actually the morning of Palm Sunday before church, and a little bit of a rush job. There are a lot of things I'd do differently if I were to do it over, but I don't plan to do it over. So I don't really need this on my workbench. So does anyone want it? Maybe I can ship it to somebody. I'll have to think about where to put that guy. And then these are some little tests that I did for my box joint jig. I've got my last long form video that I released was on a box joint box that I did. And this is the test that I did on the box joint jig before making that box joint box. And it worked pretty well, and so I felt comfortable moving forward on it. There's the how that looks, and obviously I haven't glued these together, so my kids like to play with those a little bit. So this is the box joint box that I made before on a previous jig, not nearly as good a jig, which did not yield nearly as good a results on the box joint box. So I don't think I've shown this to anybody before, but yeah, you get to see how sloppy, and so these ones don't look too terrible, but I've got a chunk right there, and then chunks here and there, so a lot of tear out, and then just this finger here completely chipped off part of it. This one was not that great, right? And then I compounded the problem by finishing it with a paste wax. And so for most of it, it looks fine, but the wax got into those voids, and there's not really a good way to buff out the wax that's stuck in those voids. So yeah, just these white blobs on the box. So I mentioned in the video that I keep it in the shop, in part because I'm not sure where else to put it. It's not like my wife is clamoring to have this displayed in the house somewhere, but also just as a reminder of the improvements that I make, and that I'm learning in this process, and getting better with each project. So anyway, not bad. Oh, hey, Matthew, thanks. Kevin, don't I sleep? I sleep, man. When it's time to sleep, I sleep. At least every couple of weeks. What are you still doing up? I mean, I just had this this itch that I needed to clean up in here. So we were live. My wife and I were live for several hours this afternoon, and we went in and had some dinner, and took care of some other stuff, and did not clean up out here at all. And so I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should do something about the mess. She was kind enough during the live to point out my accumulation of junk over here in the corner. So maybe I'll do something about that tonight. But part of what I wanted to accomplish was cleaning up the burn and shellac and everything on the workbench, and possibly kind of sanding it in, throwing in a little bit of glue to fill in some of these voids and make this a little smoother. There's a lot of imperfections in the workbench, which is to be somewhat expected. I mean, this plywood has been here for a while, I think. We moved into the house 2.5-ish years ago, and the plywood here was used on a workbench that was already here, but the workbench was kind of an L-shaped in this corner, and the only support for the workbench were 2x4s, so just resting on 2x4s in each corner. So the middle of the of the workbench was completely unsupported, and I thought, you know what, that's not the best design. So I ripped it all apart, but then just reused the plywood, and built it a lot sturdier. So now I've got 2x3 horizontal supports on the workbench. I've got 2x6 vertical supports, and it's screwed into the studs in the walls. And so this is pretty sturdy, not really going anywhere. But thought maybe I should do something about this and this. So and let's see, are you talking about this looks like an ice box? Or are you talking about this looks like an ice box, Kevin? because yeah. Oh, and what did the Sunday school kids think of their signs? Got a sad story to tell on that front. So as I mentioned earlier, did a few live videos earlier this week in which I made a bunch of signs. And then on the live with my wife earlier today, we also made signs in a competition because she was not that impressed with the signs that I made for our Sunday school kids. And we've got 9 kids that regularly attend our Sunday school class. Not all 9 of them come every week, but 9 of them that are regularly there. We had 2 kids show up today that were visitors, and so we figured it wouldn't be the best to have a bunch of signs giving out to the regulars and then be like, oh, hi, visitor, you don't get a sign. Of course, there was no way for me to know that they were going to be there. And even if I did know in advance, probably wouldn't have made the signs anyway. But I'm terrible that way. So we have not distributed the signs yet, but we will get to that maybe next week, maybe the week after, or maybe we'll just go deliver them to the houses of the kids. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. The first one, this one. So this is actually the example of not the best box that I was just talking about. So I made a box joint jig for the table saw, and the jig that I made was just based on my miter gauge. And let me find. So I've just got this DeWalt job site table saw, which it's a pretty common table saw, right? And the miter gauge that it comes with, just like most miter gauges on especially job site table saws, but table saws in general, it's not that great of a miter gauge, right? And so it had quite a bit of slop in it, so I actually just put some painter's tape on there to reduce the slop so that it wouldn't move around nearly as much. But basically I just built a jig off of this and then used that to cut my cut my joints. But what I learned is that there was still a fair amount of slop in there, and the way I connected it to the miter gauge wasn't that great. So in general, the miter or the box joint jig that I made was not that great, and so it yielded not that great of results. So especially in here, just a lot of tear out, a lot of issues. So and I talked about this in my most recent long form video that I released, and how I keep it in the shop as a reminder of I can do better, learn from my mistakes. And so these guys actually I made as test pieces for the new box joint jig, which actually I have in the corner over here, along with a bunch of material that I wasn't sure where else to put. So this box I actually made, and the box that's featured in the long form video I was just referring to, the box joint box video. This wood came from here. I've got a piece of firewood. This was just out in the firewood pile when we moved into the house, and I brought it in, milled it up, and realized, oh, hey, this is cedar wood. Looks kind of nice, right? I mean, it had imperfections in it, right? Like, it's got, crack going through there, coming through here, right? But, there's some nice looking material here, and some of it that's, not quite as nice. And then, you got, some cracking there, big knot here, and then, several cracks going through there. But anyway, so I made this box out of this material. I made the box featured in that video out of this material, and then I just wasn't sure where to put the rest of this material before I do something else with it. So I don't know if I'm just going to make more boxes or something else. But what I was actually coming over here to show you is the new box joint jig. Right there. So it might be a little bit dusty. So this box joint jig, has my little key on it. I based this on a 1/2-inch dado blade set on the table saw, and I went with the 2 runners because I figured that was going to be a lot more stable than just the 1 runner that I had on my miter gauge. So this guy, well, I'll face it this way so you guys can see it better, even though that's not how it actually go in. So I put in the dado stack, for 1/2 inch. And then here's the key. And so I can just cut the material that way. And I found one of the ways to avoid the tear out that I experienced on this guy. So I don't know how well you can see it, but these are just not clean cuts at all. There's a lot of tear out, especially right in here, there. So what I would do is have a sacrificial board behind the. Let me see if I'm even angling to where you can see. Okay, yeah. I put a sacrificial board, so like this. So I put a sacrificial board here. Then I put my workpiece, right? Ran it through the blade, okay? And then with that cut, I would put both the workpiece and the backing board on the key, right? And then do my next cut, and then the same thing, just move both of them together. And that way, it reduced tear out a lot on the workpiece because the backing board there was there to prevent the tear out. So anyway, so that jig worked a lot better than the jig that I made based on this. So, and this DeWalt table saw, it works really well, right? But its miter slots are not, not perfect, and so a lot easier to have, or a lot more reliable to have runners on both slots instead of just on one. So, if there's slop, there is still some slop here. You can see there's a little bit of movement. I didn't get those quite as perfect as I wanted, but it's a lot better than what I was getting, the result I was getting with just that guy. So, but thanks for saying it looks nice, even if it doesn't really. All right. From a distance, it looks good. Yeah. So it reminds me of something I probably shouldn't say, but something we used to say at dances, back in my high schoolish age days, and you see a girl across the way, like, oh, she looks really nice, and then you get closer and you realize, okay, she looks good from far, but far from good. So, like I said, probably shouldn't say it, but we were superficial, and to a degree still are. So, and okay, you like using the router table for box joints? I haven't done that. You know, I think, let's see, do I? Okay, I do have a miter slot on my one router table. I haven't done any router slots on my homemade router table, but maybe that's something I should consider at some point. And let's see, what else you got here? Pretty cool. Okay, you watched the box video already? Yeah. So this is, like I was saying, this is the example of the box that wasn't that great. And these can be kind of fun to play with. So anyway, part of why I haven't glued them up or anything. When my daughter comes out here, they can be a fun little fidget for her. So, but they don't need to be on my workbench. So I will remove them from the workbench. And you know what? None of this stuff really needs to be on the workbench either. So in the interest of clearing up space on the workbench, I am going to put it elsewhere. And same with the jig. I'm going to find somewhere else for that box joint jig. So it's not just in the junk corner here. And speaking of things that I keep around to show how poorly I've done things in the past, this was an attempt to do a little bit of carving with I think I was just using a chisel. You know, I don't have any like carving tools or anything, like a gouge and such. But I saw a video from, oh, can't think of his name, or the name of the channel. I think it's Wood by Right, something like that. WRIGHT. If any of you are familiar with the channel, go ahead and throw it in the chat and remind me what his name is. But anyway, I saw a little video of his saying how easy it is to carve, and here's how you do it, and he's using a gouge and such. But he's like, you know, you can do it with a chisel. I was like, oh, okay, let me try it. But my chisels weren't that great. Needed sharpening, and my skill level wasn't that great either. So here's my attempt at carving the word faith. So yeah. All right. So I think I'm going to put that material up there. Let's see if I can reach it without having to get the ladder out. And oh, these are some French cleat stuff that I've pre-cut to work with the French cleat wall here. So whenever I make a new French cleat holder, I can just pull some of the pre-cut French cleat stuff, and then you can just go right on the wall. So say I wanted to mount that, like I did with this guy or those boxes, you just glue that to the back and probably put a brad nail, and then you know, obviously cut it, and then just mount the box. So just pre-cut a bunch of material there, so it'd just be really easy to throw those on whenever I needed to. So, all right, brushes go in there, screwdrivers over here. This is this is the little mini tripod that my wife got me for Father's Day. During the live earlier today, she was laughing at me for not figuring out how to use it for vertical view. So she decided to show me how to do it, right? She didn't quite get it put all together during the live earlier, but this is how it would have gone together. All right, so let me just kind of screw that in a little bit. And what I was really looking forward to showing her was that, yeah, you got it set for vertical view, but the vertical view you're going to get is straight down. And so, like, yeah, that's maybe not the best. So the horizontal view makes a lot more sense to me. So see if I can do this without dropping it. So it's got a little port right there for it. So I can just screw it on right there. And then I've got horizontal view that I can just clip the phone in. But when I'm doing the live videos, I generally go vertical view because apparently YouTube pushes the vertical view lives way more than they push the horizontal view lives. I'm not sure exactly why they've chosen to do it that way, but that's apparently how they do it. So if anyone knows the reason, other than that's just the way it is, then let me know. Let's see. Ramu Vilas Boas, thanks for joining us. And without faith, I'd have nothing. Yeah. And yeah, hit the like button, everyone. I like Kevin's idea. Hit the like. If you like what you're seeing and want to, this is a little different than what we usually do. You know, I'm just kind of cleaning up, but you know, do various projects in the garage, in the shop, do some woodworking, you know, fix the machines, you know, the table saw, the bandsaw. I've got some lathe work coming up that I'll be doing, trying to get this old lathe operational and then try making stuff on it. So it's an old lathe from the 1930s. So here's a little quick view. And got that for cheap from someone who was looking to unload it. That's pretty much the story on most of the stuff that most of my equipment. I'm pretty cheap. I don't like to spend a lot of money on stuff, much to my wife's chagrin. So, all right, just collect some garbage here. Some stuff over there. Went to Harbor Freight the other day. Picked up some ratcheting band clamps. So that should help my miter joints get a lot cleaner. Picked up some spray adhesive, which I intend to use for when I'm making stuff on the bandsaw. I can print something out on paper and then just use the spray adhesive to put it on the wood. what I've done in the past for that is double stick tape, which it's not nearly as good as the spray adhesive. You get the spray adhesive on there, and the paper is going to adhere. It's going to be right on the wood. Whereas with the double stick tape, it's just not quite as clean. And got some earplugs from my wife because she is very sensitive to noise. Doesn't like it when I run any of the machinery. So got her some more earplugs. And oh yeah, got some permanent markers, mostly for inside the house actually. And then I got some bungee cords. And I got the bungee cords primarily for my homemade kiln over here. So I wanted a way to close it very, relatively securely. And I had been using this kind of tow rope thing, and then just wrapping it as tight as I could. But the bungee cords give me a much more, much tighter fit, and that works a little bit better. I've been a little frustrated with this kiln lately, though, because it's basically powered by a dehumidifier, and the dehumidifier keeps shutting off and not sending any water down into this collection bucket. And so, like right now, I'm at 94 degrees in there. It's supposed to be around 120 degrees. So, little frustrated with the lack of progress there on drying wood in the kiln. So I might have to return that dehumidifier or fix it somehow. I'm not sure what it needs to be fixed. And then here's the insulation tape that I used to make the kiln. It's primarily made out of 1-inch foam boards, or a single sheet of, single 4x8 sheet of 1-inch foam board. So then I just cut it, so it's 48 inches wide, 24 inches tall, 16 inches deep, and then just taped it together into a box form. And you might have noticed that I've got a lot more insulation around it because I acquired some other insulation that I just kind of piled around the foam boards. And then I've got the dehumidifier in there to remove the water, and also it causes, it's a heat source. And I've also got a fan in there that produces more heat and also helps circulate the air better. So that's how it's supposed to work. But since the dehumidifier keeps shutting off every, I don't know how many hours, but it doesn't seem to go even a full day lately. So a little frustrated with the kiln in that respect. So Yosef is his grandfather is 112 years old. Holy crap. Worked as a carpenter for 100 years. His father took him to a carpentry shop when he was 12. Worked there for 100 years. Oh, he passed away. Okay. Makes sense that he would pass away at 112. That's kind of a full life, right? Romeo Villas Boas is in Portugal. Sweet. Cliff Saunders saying hi. Hello, Cliff. Yeah, Kevin. Hope you're able to learn from his wisdom, Yosef. And using school glue sticks works good for that also. Works good for what, Kevin? I'm not remembering what the school glue would be good for. Oh, probably. Are you talking about the spray adhesive? Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, maybe I should have just gone up into my wife's craft drawer and got some glue sticks. Save myself the spray adhesive cost from Harbor Freight. It was on special though. They had their 30% off on anything that was $20 or less. So that's why I kind of perused. I'm like, all right, what do they have under $20 that I need? So that was my collection of stuff that I need. All right. Oh, we got Lady OG and Bev and Paul J. We got the UK wave coming in here, and yeah, sticking patterns, right? Got it, Kevin. And come back off easily. Great. Scott is from Wichita. Yeah, it's got to be at least 2 in the morning for you, Scott, right? That's at least Central Time, isn't it? And all right, so let's continue cleaning up over here. So I have been storing all of my tape just in this back corner. So got various types of tape that I've been putting back there. So duct tape, and some extra rolls of painter's tape, the wider painter's tape, and then I got the double stick tape, and now I've got the HVAC insulation tape. So that's all just been going in the corner. Maybe not the best place for it, but that's where I've been putting it. So, here's the glue bot that I haven't employed yet. I've been using mostly Type Bond Original lately, just because most all the stuff I've been making is either for in the shop or inside isn't going to really have any moisture exposure, and so otherwise I'd be looking at Type Bond 2 or Type Bond 3. Let's see. Lady, what am I making today? I'm not really making that much. Mostly I'm just trying to clean up and get things a bit organized. I had several live videos in the last week or so, including a long one with my wife earlier today, in which we made some signs in a bit of a competition. So I made the signs. I think you saw the signs that I was making the last few days. And when I took those up to her last night, she was like, I could do this, right? So we decided to have a competition today to see who could make the better signs. And she did not play by the rules, and I'm not bitter, but I did win. And I haven't even really rubbed it in that much. Well, a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, 2 a.m. for you, Scott. Yep. Yeah, Kevin, where are you at? Are you in? No, Ohio. You're not in Ohio, are you? Seems like half the people I follow are in Ohio. All right, 8 in the morning in the UK. And hey, Paul, I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for asking, man. How about you? You have a good night's rest? Ready to attack the day? Do you like your signs? A clean workshop is an affected workshop. Yeah, Central Illinois. Okay, cool. All right, so let me figure out what else I got over here and where I might want to put it. So this is some willow wood that I've been drying. So I had a willow tree in the backyard that I hated because willow sucks. And so I cut it down, and most of we cut up the logs and stacked them for firewood. Had a friend from church that actually a lot of the young men from church came. So the 12 to 17-year-old boys came, and we loaded up a bunch of the branches into the trailer of this other friend from church, and he's got some property, and he just went and dumped it on his property because his wife loves the bird habitat that it creates, and so that's really convenient for me. So, and it's a dump trailer that he has, and so he was able to just we loaded it all into the trailer, and he just went and dumped it, and then he was done, and I didn't have to worry about it. And I was like, thanks, man. It's great. So another friend that helped with that whole process has a bandsaw with much greater capacity than mine. So mine is an old Craftsman bandsaw. Give you a peek at it. So this Craftsman bandsaw was built, manufactured in 1978. They actually have a date code on these things. And on the date code, it says 8293, which means that this was manufactured on the 293rd day of 1978. So that's my bandsaw. And it has a max capacity of just 6 inches. And this was slightly more than 6 inches. So there's no way I was going to be able to cut that on here. But my friend's bandsaw has a capacity of 14 inches. And so took some of the pieces and over to his place and resawed. Unfortunately, we didn't do a very good job. So they are pretty wonky, not particularly straight. Yeah, we got there. Oh, this is actually from the chainsaw cutting into it. So that's not from the bandsaw. But this was a pretty thin piece, and so it dried pretty quickly in the kiln. And so I just pulled it out and, of course, just threw it on the workbench, because where else would I want a piece of dry willow, right? So where to put it? How about up there? There we go. Put away. Perfect. All right. Paul, you doing okay? Woke up with a headache. Oh, well, that's not great. Have you tried any medication? Are you into like Tylenol, ibuprofen, anything? Maybe that can help. Ireneo Ochoa, hello. Thanks for joining us. Is it the heat? Oh yeah, yeah. I guess you guys have a bit of a heat wave over there, and I guess air conditioning is not really that common of a thing in the UK. Am I correct? Not particularly straight. That's what my dad said when I showed him my girlfriend. Okay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, right? But all right. So let me think about where I want to store this stuff. See, what else do I have? This is some tubing for the garden. I got 2 of them because I wasn't sure how much I would need, and I don't think I need this one. So I'm actually going to put that in my car to return to the Home Depot. Hopefully it hasn't been too long, and I'll still be able to return it. If I put it in my car, I'll actually remember to return it. If I leave it on the workbench, it might be another year before I try to return it, and I'll have a little bit more difficult time then, I think. All right. More garbage on the floor here. Double stick tape from earlier today, or I guess from yesterday now. All right, calipers. Where to put those? I think the main reason why I have this pile of stuff is because I'm not sure where else to put it. So, all right. So I've got some Singer all-purpose oil. So that's generally going to be for sewing machines, but it's basically just a light engine oil, which I've heard is the best thing to use for the lathe. So the lathe has these little oil reservoirs. You can see, hopefully, how gunky, dirty they look. And my understanding that those are supposed to be pretty clean. And so before I use the lathe, I want to clean those out and put some clean, fresh oil in them, because everything works better with proper lubrication. All right. And okay. Ask how he knows. Okay. Cold compress, pop in your head, back of your neck. Yeah, Paul. And a lathe. Cool to see you carve something on that. Yeah, I have not tried yet. As I was mentioning before, it's from the 1930s. So this is an old lathe, and I want to switch out the power cord and plug, and then and clean out that oil reservoir and put in some fresh oil before I risk it. So, but yeah, eventually we'll get to carving something on the lathe, or turning something on the lathe, I think is the proper term, right? And my daughter actually is the one the impetus behind getting that, because she wanted to make some mixing bowls or something. She's into culinary stuff, and so I saw it listed for sale on Marketplace. They didn't have a picture of it, but they had a bunch of other stuff that they were selling, because they basically had this whole shop that they needed to liquidate because they had to move. And but I saw the price. I was like, okay, well, let's go check it out, see if it's any good. And so we get there, and I see this, and I was like, oh, this is a lot older, heavier, and dirtier than I was anticipating. It was just caked in dust and such, because they just hadn't used it at all. Come to find out that the guy that owned it, he was a contractor, and he didn't really even intend to buy it. He didn't want to buy it, but it sounded like the way he came by it is that the guy he bought it from had a bunch of other tools that the guy did want, and he bought this as a condition of getting all the other tools. It's kind of a, buy it all or buy none of it, right? And so he had the lathe for I don't know how long, just sitting in this shop accumulating dust. And then when they were needing to move, he's like, I don't even care how much I get for it, really, is, I mean, based on the pricing. And so yeah, so the price that he had listed it for on Marketplace was $20. And while I was there looking at it and kind of mulling over whether I want to deal with this lathe, they dropped it to $10. And so my daughter convinced me that $10 was, a low enough risk to take it on and see what we could do with it. So anyway, oh hey Raja, good to see you, man. Let's see. Yeah, looking forward to it. Yep. After cleaning out the oil cups on the lathe, cut the tip off a cotton swab and put them in the cups. It'll help keep dirt out, put oil in. Oh, okay. So put the, are you saying put the cotton swab? Okay. Cut the tip off a cotton swab and put them in the cups. It'll help keep dirt out, put oil in. Are you saying try and put the swabs just at the opening here? Is that what you're trying to say? Or you're not saying to shove the swab all the way in, right? Just cut the tip off and put it on top? Is that what you mean? Am I understanding what you're trying to communicate? Push it into the tube. Yes, push it in. Okay. All right. All right. Maybe I will. Appreciate the idea. All right, let's get back to cleaning up over here. All right, so some sandpaper that's partially used. I got this light that picked up from Harbor Freight a while ago, thinking, oh, this would be really good for additional lighting for when I'm doing videos. And I've never gotten it out for that. Maybe it would be good, but haven't actually used it for that yet. Okay, got the little silicone roller for spreading glue. Burnisher, see if that'll, yeah, that'll stick on the magnet. Looks like a cover for something. I don't remember what it's a cover for. Okay. This is a little engraver, I think, that I got for like $2, something like that. So let me see if, where's this, the wood burner? I think it's the engraver. Let's see. Just grab a little piece of scrap here. Yep, engraver. So where should I put the engraver? I think I'll probably put that in one of my bins down here. Let me think of which bin it should go in. All right, then my wife picked up some lights for me, again, thinking that I'd use these for additional lighting, and haven't thought of a good way to mount them or use them. So, all right, this is the replacement cord and plug that I got for the lathe. I'll put those over there by the motor. Oh, these, I hate throwing things out, but these were part of this cabinet that I repurposed for a router table. So kind of see on this corner over here, they've got these, little plastic supports in the corners. So these guys were in the other corners over here, but they were interfering with mounting the top of the router table flush because they protrude a little bit here. So I was like, I don't really need them because my router table is going to keep everything secure there. So then I was like, oh, maybe I would need them for something in the future. And I think I'm just going to toss those out. If I need something to secure these together in the future, I can just make something out of wood and put them in there. I don't need to hold on to those plastic pieces. So I got these little legs from someone on Marketplace. They listed them for $5, and they looked a lot bigger on the ad. So when I got there and I was like, oh, okay, I still like them. I could use them for something. But then she threw in a bunch of these 1-inch dowels. There's a couple more over there on the lathe that you might have seen when I showed you the lathe. But I'm like, where's a good place to store a bunch of dowels and a bunch of legs? On the workbench, obviously. That's the best place for them, right in the way. So I think I'll store these over here for now. So you like the way I clean up by just moving the mess from one place to another? Okay. Lady, okay, you got to drop off the rug rats. Hey, no problem. Enjoy. Okay, grande abraca para você. That I believe that means big hug by voice, big voice hug. Is that right, Romeo? I don't speak Portuguese. I do speak some Spanish, some Espanol, but Portuguese is similar in a lot of ways, but I could be completely misreading that. Yeah, see you soon, Lady G. Use a tooth puck or wire, not all the way in, just enough to hold it. So when it's dirty, it's easy to replace. Okay, cool. Peña que no falo inglés. Okay, you don't speak English, I think is what you're saying. No habla inglés. If I'm going to use español para hablar. So I think that's what you're saying, but I'm probably butchering the pronunciation there in Portuguese. But pena que não falo inglês. So I think that's what you're trying to tell me. So all right, and I've got empty box from the tripod. Got a non-empty box. My wife wants me to make her a little mini wishing well, and she picked out this pail to go in the wishing well. And I have not made the wishing well yet, but when I do, I've got the pail for it. So where to put a pail? I don't know. All right. Audio cable, broken sunglasses, sharpener that doesn't sharpen. I think I'll put that with the sharpening stuff. Repurposed this guy. So this was like a bike hook type deal. So it was like this, and then angled. Let's see, yeah, angled like that. And I bent it around to hold my levels over there. See if you can see them. Yeah, you can see them. So I made this so to hold these guys, and it didn't really work that great because I couldn't really bend this as straight as I needed to, so they wouldn't all go on. And so I was like, this is a stupid idea. So I just took it out and instead made a little dowel up there. So then just stuck the dowel into the 2x3 support for the shelf. And then same thing for my router sled. So then they're just resting on those instead of on this metal deal. So I'm going to throw this guy over here with some other of these bike rack holder thingies where it was before. All right, so I've got various odd hardware here and screws, drill bits. Got a little file that I stuck into a little slab of wood. And this was so that I could sharpen my my card scrapers. So I got a set of card scrapers, and I actually sharpened these on a live video a little while back, a couple weeks ago, I think. So I wanted to be able to run the file flat upon the cardstock or card scrapers. So just put it in there, and it's a pretty tight fit. There we go. So see the groove there in the 2x3. So put the file on the magnetic strip where it was before. I got socket wrench, and scissors and various bags here. Receipt. Do I need to return anything from this? Nope. And so I just saved these grocery bags to use as garbage bags in the shop. I'm not sure why I'm saving this. All right, and I've got a bunch of manuals, user manuals, and promotional materials that I picked up at various things. And that goes with this. So I did a video with my wife. She is not a shop person, and so I had her come out and we played a game called Name That Tool. So I would present a tool to her and she would try to figure out, or try to guess the name of the tool and what it was used for. And so one of the things that I had her look at was a tap and die set. She did not know what it was or what it would be used for. But that didn't actually make it into the video because I didn't really think it was as entertaining as a lot of the other stuff that she looked at. So, so the only way that you know that she looked at that is because I just told you. Because otherwise you wouldn't see it in any of the videos. All right. So, oh, here's the instructions for the wishing well that she wants. Wants it to be about 2 feet high. Here's the dimensions of the pail that she selected. She would really like for it to be round, but when I explained that would be a lot more difficult to do, she's like, okay, I could handle having it just be rectangular or square. And so that's her artistry, definitely not mine. I am not good with art. I like to say that I can screw up even stick figures. So not the best. And oh, hey, Nikki. Yesterday's live was a hoot. I voted for Mrs. Pelado. Sorry. How could you, Nikki? How could you? I thought we had a connection, right? That's just harsh. Thankfully, though, didn't matter because I still won. And I was really glad about that. This is a magnetic holder thing that I got from Harbor Freight, and it's holding screws for a project that I've been working on for over a year. It's these sanded boards and stuff over here. Those all used to be the same color as that ladder back behind. So they're all part of a bunk bed setup and that I'm converting to a loft bed setup for my daughter, 17-year-old. So these are the screws that go to it, or at least some of them. And so I put them in here way back when I took it all apart, and they haven't made it back in yet because it's just been sitting out of the way for quite some time and haven't been working on it, much to my daughter's chagrin. So, all right. And then I've got this wrench set. You may notice I've already got a bunch of wrenches here, and so why would I need these wrenches? And the reason is that I wanted the wrench that was right here for, I have it stored over here, right down in this drawer as part of my router table setup. because that is the right size that I need for changing the router bits on the router that I usually have mounted right there. It's actually not mounted right now, but the base is still mounted, but not the actual router. All right, I got a bunch of these brushes because they were on special and cheap, and I like to use these for glue ups. My intention was to make something like this box for these brushes so they'd be easily accessible, and I just haven't done it yet. I mean, I guess I could just use this box and discard the lid, but I haven't convinced myself to do that yet. All right, so a bunch more owner's manual stuff. And those are promotional materials. And chainsaw chain. I think I can probably put that by the chainsaw here pretty safely. Don't really need it on the workbench, probably. And yeah, she's so awesome. I agree, Nikki. My wife is pretty awesome. But I still don't want her winning in a competition against me, right? If she's facing someone else, I'll cheer for her. Absolutely. I don't want to lose. All right. Oh, something in there. Oh, here's more stuff that I bought at Harbor Freight that I haven't done anything with yet. So these are little rolly balls. So my idea here was to make a little Lazy Susan out of these. So I've got 4 of them. And it's not really a great Lazy Susan design idea, and maybe that's why I haven't actually built it yet. But my plan was to make a Lazy Susan that I can put work pieces on, so that when I'm finishing things, I can just put the work piece on the Lazy Susan, and then be spraying shellac or spraying polyurethane or spraying whatever finish it is, without having to pick the piece up, move it, or position in a way that I can move around the piece. So anyway, a project that I will get to at some point in the future. So I will put these over here with some other wheels that I've got, because that way I might remember what is there. Let me see how I'm doing on battery power. I didn't have a full battery when I started. All right, so I'm at 34%. I'm okay for now, but one thing I was thinking about doing during this live is working on this tripod, because this is what I was using for the live earlier today and some previous stuff. And it's got some issues to it, which makes sense because I bought this for really cheap at a yard sale. So, and recently I just used some painter's tape to attach a backup battery to the tripod so that I could make sure to make it through alive without dying. But I think I will now connect it to this tripod so that it doesn't die. And I need to find my painter's tape and connect it. And so I'm going to change that a little bit so I can connect it a little bit better. So far I'm not connecting it very well. For those of you that wanted an update on that, not my best work, but we might just get there anyway. All right, got it somewhat secured. Let me wrap another round of tape around it. Because I don't really want this falling off and getting damaged or anything. So, all right. Grab some power and plug that in the phone and plug it into battery backup. There we go. That should give us plenty of whatever it is that we want to get done tonight. All right. Okay. Some hole saws. Oh, this is some handle bolts that are intended for like a mower, lawnmower, or snow blower. Fits most walk behind mowers and snow blowers. So I bought these intending to use it for attaching my fence to the router table. And then I decided to go a different route. So now I have these available for whenever I want to use a handle on some jig or something. So, but I'm not exactly sure where to store them. All right. Looks like I've got an extra tape measure. Let's see if I can fit it up there. Not really. What if I move this one over here? Will it fit in the middle? Hey, what do you know? I think I got it. So the tape measures. Just had this little piece of plywood that I got from a shipping container, and so I just secured it to the top of this shelf, or secured to the bottom of this shelf, and then I'm just slipping the tape measures on there. I probably bumped the camera while I was doing that, so you couldn't really even see what I was doing. But, oh well. All right, more promotional materials. And okay, this was a jig. I even labeled it, right? Miter dowel jig. So the idea here was that I wanted to be able to have a nice connection on miter joints. And so I figured I'd cut, a miter on a board and then dowel it so that it would be nice and secure and give me a nice clean finish. And tried a couple of different iterations at least, and neither of them worked all that great. So haven't moved forward with that. All right, some spare gloves there. Some clippers and another tape measure. Probably I can take one in the house. I don't know why I even have this guy. Business card. Wire cutters. And utility knife, which can go with the other utility knife that I saw right here. The flip split blade utility knife. And then got these dowels that go to my dowel jig. So I'm not sure why they're just out on the workbench. But it's nice to have some things that I know where they go. Okay. Oh, here's another jig that tried and failed at. So this was intended as a doweling jig. So each of those is supposed to be a different size dowel. And yeah, I did not execute that very well. So I might try again at some point, but I'm probably not going to worry about it. So where should I put that? Yeah. I got some hole saws and some dual carabiners and a bunch of this stuff. I think I put a bunch of those over here. I think. Yep. So I'm just going to stuff user manuals in that bag. I'm going to put the promotional materials in the garbage. I'm going to put a bunch of this other stuff in the garbage. And okay, what else can I actually put away? Where do I want to put this guy? I fit him somewhere. Like he'll fit there for now. Okay. So I got a couple of GoPro cameras here for a vacation where we were going snorkeling, and we were planning to do some other fun stuff that I thought the GoPros would be very good for. And we used them for that, and they were good for it. But then I thought afterwards I'd bring them into the shop and use them as secondary cameras to my phone camera and be able to produce some really slick videos for you guys. And what I found is that it was a real pain trying to get the videos off of the cameras. And so I ended up really not really using them, which is why they're in the corner collecting dust. But yeah, I think one's a GoPro 5 and the other's a GoPro 7, I think. So certainly not latest and greatest, but should be sufficient for my needs. I was talking to someone about those the other day, and they said what they do to get the videos off is just open them up and take the the micro SD card out and put it into a card reader and just pull the videos that way. It's like, oh, that seems a lot easier than what I was trying to do. So I was trying to upload to the cloud on those and then pull from the cloud to download, and just wasn't working very well. So I was like, I'm just not even going to deal with it. So got some rare earth magnets in there. Okay. And then a bunch of little screws. I got some match fit hardware. Really like this stuff. I use the match fit for I've got the match fit system on my crosscut sled. So use it for a couple other things in the past, but this might be the only thing that's currently using it. So got on my stop block here. It has a dovetailed piece. All right. And so then I've got a dovetail groove cut. And so that just slides in. So it's basically I can use this in lieu of T-track. And this is a little bit more difficult to do while I'm holding the crosscut sled versus not. And then I can just tighten that down wherever I want to secure my stop block. Got the tape measure here. So anyway, I've got a video on this. You can just watch the video. And if you care about the crosscut sled very much, or if you think you might care about the crosscut sled, just check out the video. All right. Let's see here. Hey, Whacking Shack. Good to see you here, dude. Isn't it, you're a couple of hours ahead of me, aren't you? Isn't it like 3, well, almost 4 in the morning there for you? Dude, are you this early of a riser or this late of a go to bedder? And oh, it looks like I got a couple more little dowels that I missed earlier. So get those put away as well. My little Miles Craft doweling jig, the Joint Mate, not sponsored. Okay, I think this guy, I'm going to throw him in here. And the extra wrenches, put them over there. So yeah, you know what? I've got a freaking tool chest over here that I haven't used at all. So didn't even think about it, but well, I guess I am using it a bit. So just got the extension cords down there at the bottom. But yeah, my brother gave this to me a little while back. He bought a huge tool chest. I was like, I don't really know if I need a tool chest because I don't really do a lot of mechanic type stuff, whatever. He's much more into working on cars and that sort of thing. Oh, it looks like he left some tools in here for me. I didn't realize that. I'm not sure that I want the tools he left me, but he did leave some stuff for me. All right, so I'll just put those wrenches in one of these drawers. And there's probably some other stuff over here that I can put in there, like these bits and that guy. And I'm going to take that guy and that guy over there too. They're not really that great. Probably not going to be using them that often. Put an extra tape measure over here. Man, this feels like found space. All right. I found these arrowhead things, spearheads, whatever, at a yard sale a while back, and I figured that I'd have a use for them for our Sunday school class, and still haven't thought of a use for them for the Sunday school class, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful they'll come in handy at some point. Make something for these guys to take to Sunday school. Okay, let's see. Yeah, 4 a.m. for you. Cool. The Cop 3R. Hello. Syllable. Early birds catch the morning worm. Yeah. Getting ready to go back out and start working on the shop. Have to beat the heat. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you're building a new shop, right? What's your progress on that? Have you been posting about that? I think I've seen a little bit, but not much. So yeah, let me know in the chat what's your progress there. So okay, let me see. All right, is my audio working okay? I was having a bit of a problem there. Okay. What else can I throw somewhere? Throw that. Moisture meter. I should put the moisture meter. I'll just put the moisture meter over here next to the kiln. And okay, the box joint jig. Wonder if it'll balance. No, that's not going to work. But or to drill a hole in it, I could just stick it on the same dowel with the router sled, and then it'd be out of the way. And then whenever I need it, to get to it. But I don't want to drill a hole in it right now because that might make my spouse quite upset with me. So I'll just sit over there for now. Here's the projects that my wife wants me to do. So I'll put this wishing well project page in there. And then she also made me this book for Christmas that basically a little project book. So it has a bunch of the projects she wants me to do. Some of the ideas that I've penciled out. And then the rest is unused, which upsets her. She's like, oh, I got you this gift and you don't even use it. Any other spouses get that kind of feedback from your significant others? That they don't feel like you appreciate the gifts that they give you? All right. And let's see. Okay. Now we got these markers are going to go inside. Save this for more trash because I'm always generating trash out here. Really good at it. Wonder if I can slide this on the the shelf. Is there enough room over here to make that work? That should work for now. Okay, garbage. And then a lot of little hardware bits. Stuff there, garbage. Just get rid of those. Get rid of those. Flashlights. You know what? I'm gonna open these guys up. And if those are probably just aluminum, yep, not magnetic. So all right, so I will take those into the house with markers. And I feel like I'm actually getting somewhere a little bit. So making some little bits of progress here. Get some of these little pieces of scrap. And, you know, even this stuff I have a hard time throwing away. Like, you know, at worst I can just burn it, you know. Don't want to waste anything. I think I kind of picked that up from my dad. He did not like waste. So, my guess anyway. Cover up the power, unused power outlet there. Okay, got some screws. Just put those in there. And then got miscellaneous screws that can go in here. Miscellaneous smaller screws. Put in this one. And oh geez, I really jammed that in there. See if I can free it up with screwdriver. I think I probably got it in there with an impact driver. Hey, what do you know? Got it free. Oh, I think that's my white side flush trim router bit. That shouldn't be there. That should be in a case over here. There we go. Yeah, that was part of the video that I did with my wife, the name that tool. And she had me really concerned because I handed her the router bit and almost immediately she starts grabbing it on the blade side. I'm like, be careful. Really don't want you cutting your finger open. But it's like, I didn't want to tip her off onto what it was exactly, but I'm like, that's dangerous to be holding that way. So don't do it that way. I'm going to put this with my backpacking stuff because that will be easiest for me to remember. I think that it goes with the backpacking stuff. So they're the little carabiner items. Okay. That is the match fit. Do I still have the case for that? I don't see it. I'll just throw that up there for now. And go ahead with trying to sort some of this small fasteners and stuff. Okay. Interesting. So I've got a magnet and a little clip, spring-loaded clip, and then something was hot glued to this. I don't know what or why. I know I wouldn't have hot glued it because I don't use hot glue. Let's see. So I've got some little hook thingies and some that's washers. Oh, here we go. This is for mounting pictures and stuff. So some picture mounting hardware in there. All the little screws over there. Just some extra nuts and bolts. So we'll call it in there. Sure, why not? And I think this bit goes to the set that I put over there. Oh, that's a scroll saw blade. I wonder if it's a dull blade and that's why it's out instead of in with the rest. You know what? I use this so much that I am going to say it's okay to toss that. Okay. And let's see, any other little screws or anything? What those are. And there's a few little pieces of odd hardware that I don't recognize as being part of anything that I know. And so I'm going to put those in, on the floor apparently. I'm going to put these pieces of hardware in just kind of this little collection of odd hardware that I've got in a little bag over here. Because you never know when something might come in handy. So, like I was saying before about not throwing things out. Okay. Not sure what that is. I'm going to put this bit with the other bit set over here. And see if I can fit those back into their little drawers. And then where did the hooks go? Do I have? I think I've got a drawer for hook stuff like that. But which drawer is it? And that in there. Any other sockets? No, I think I will just use this drawer that was previously mostly empty. And normally I would vacuum all of this up, but I'm trying to be quiet, so I'm going to utilize a brush over here. And see if I can brush that into my little garbage receptacle here. Kind of blowing everywhere, but not that worried about it. All right, that didn't go too bad. All right, so I think for now I'm just going to keep my tape in my corner over here. My 200 painter's tape there. Those guys over there. Bungee cords. Let me see if I can sneak those back here. Yeah. Let's put those on the workbench lower shelf. Still want easy access to the speed square. Wood filler. Let me think about where to put the wood filler. All right, this little sanding stick I will put with the sanding equipment. in that bin. Keep the glue relatively easily accessible along with glue bought. My spray adhesive I'm going to put over here with my other spray cans of stuff. I know if I need to spray something, it's over there. This guy, magnetic, so he can stick. These guys are not, so I'll put him in the toolbox over here. This is from my wife, so that'll go inside. The clamps I'll put with my other clamping stuff in this bin over here. Pail. Let's see. This is a little wristband that my daughter made for me that like somehow has gotten unraveled, but it was a little tight on my wrist anyway. So I'll put this with the camping supplies because it's made of some little paracord that could become useful in a camping situation. And let's see. Okay. All right. And okay, I've repaired these a couple of times already, just with some super glue. And I've broken them a couple times after those repairs. So, of course, I should try repairing them again, right? So, I'll just try to sand away a little bit of the fire CA glue that I used. CA glue is the fancy way of saying super glue. All right. All right, so get out the glue. See if this one's still liquidy enough to. I think this one might have gotten sealed off. So hey, Like I'm getting down to the actual plastic here. All right. Let's see if we can get anything out of this or not. I'll just test it on a little bit of, hey, there we go. Getting something out of it. So here we go. All right. We'll just hold that for a long time. How am I doing? What do you think? All those of you that are watching, let me know where you're watching from. I'm in Idaho, in the United States of America. Where do you reside? Put those aside for now. Let them dry and cure and all that. Get a lid on this so it doesn't dry out again. And all right, so where should I put the lights? I think I'll put the arrowheads in with the hardware that I was talking about before. And the match fit, should probably dedicate a drawer up here to the match fit, but I'll just set that back up there for now until I do. More wood filler, that here, and that over there, and that over there. Glue roller. I'll put the glue roller with the glue brushes. Calipers, the pail, right? Yeah, that's the pail. I'll put the pail with nothing over here, away from the workbench. I'll put my crappy doweling jig in the tool chest. Along with this clip. Got these extra magnets that I will drop. So these are intended for like welding stuff, and I don't weld yet, but I figured they could be useful magnets. So I'll just put those on the metal tool chest. Actually, I'm going to put this clip on the tool chest too because it's got the magnet on it. So it might be useful to clip things to it at some point. Audio cable. I'll take that inside. Card scrapers. Like to be able to just put these on the magnetic strip, but there are too many of them for the strip to handle. A little engraver. I think I would put in here some of the sharpening and other miscellaneous supplies. And I'll put these lights over here. I was kind of intending to hang them from over on that side of the shop anyway. So I'll just set them there for now. The GoPros. I should just get those set up and use them. So little mini measuring tapes there. All right. I'll put this guy over here with the other lights too. It doesn't really make it any cleaner. Just clears out my workbench, which is maybe just as important, more important. Those guys over there for the moment. This goes to one of the chisels. So I'm not going to get rid of that yet. And just put that with my scrap wood. And these I'll put over here. Okay. Gets me a lot closer to where I wanted to be. So 220, not what I need. I'll just grab this 80 grit off of there. Normally, I would just get out my random orbital sander because that would make this go a lot faster. But I'm trying to be quiet so as not to wake up the other members of the family. They don't really like it when I'm loud out here. Don't understand why. Okay, feels like I've removed most of the shellac from in here, and looks like there's some remaining over here and along the edge here. Probably over here too, but there's still quite a bit of burn marks to get rid of. Do I make vision rock? You know what, DJ? I don't know what you mean by vision rock. So maybe I do, but not that I know of. Okay. So call it good on that one. Get a fresh piece. All right, so I'm going to throw a little bit of glue down in spots where there are voids. Hey, Craig, is that oil? Not sure what that means, but oil back, I guess. All right, so I'm going to let that set for a minute.
I'm just going to slightly sand. So it's not perfect, but it definitely wasn't perfect to start with. So a lot smoother than it was. I filled in some of these voids. Um, got rid of a lot of the burn marks and the shellac marks. So that's, I think, pretty much all I wanted to accomplish. So, Kevin, you fell asleep. Your bench is clean. Yeah, it's a lot cleaner than it was, but not quite clean all the way. But you know, we can handle where it's at. So put this guy over there. Let my sunglasses let that cure a little bit more. I'll give you guys a little view of the workbench. So not nearly as cluttery as it was. And got a lot of those burn marks and shellac off of the workbench here. Still some remnants of the burn, but not nearly as noticeable. So I think I can call that good enough. So if you have any questions or concerns or jokes, go ahead and throw them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to start wrapping up here. So Kevin says they make silicone baking sheets that you can put under stuff like that. It'll protect your bench. They are fairly cheap. Yeah, I thought of ways to protect the bench, but really I wasn't that worried about it. I actually have a sheet of melamine that I've been intending to put on top of the workbench for a while now. So the main thing that I have arguing against doing that in my internal dialogue is right now it's really easy to pull everything apart because I've just got things, screwed together, right? So, I can take the screws out, take the plywood off, replace it, completely rebuild the bench in a different way. But if I put the melamine top on, then I think I've got, I think I'd probably end up gluing it on. And if I do that, then I'd have to, obviously break that glue seal in order to get back to the plywood and unscrew it, all that kind of thing. So I'm somewhat reluctant to put it on, even knowing it'll, look a lot nicer and have a, maybe a flatter, smoother, cleaner surface to work on. But yeah, we'll see. Might get to that one of these days. So if anyone has any other questions or concerns, get your likes in and your subscribes in. And if I don't see any other questions or concerns or jokes, then I think I'm going to wrap it up and getting a little on the tired side. It's just after 3 a.m. here. So I've been up since, well, pretty early. Well, I did go back to sleep for a bit though, so I haven't been up that long. So, all right, I think we're gonna call it a day or a night or whatever this is. So thanks for joining me for my workbench cleanup and sanding, and hope to see you next time. Take care. Thanks.